Donald Mukota. Candid and clear on Capital 100.4 FM, leading the conversation.
When you travel out of Harare, you can take your talk station with you. Listen to Capital 100.4 FM via live streaming by downloading the mobile app from the Play Store. Just search for Capital FM, or you can stream on our website www.capitalfm.com.
This is the last program for today, and we are still swimming in the deep end here on the Deep Dive. This last program is called Parliament, where we discuss matters that happen in Parliament and from cabinet sittings. Today we are having a conversation on our cabinet, and our topic is politics eclipsing economic priorities in the country. We have a political analyst in the studio to discuss this issue, Mr. Terence SImbi. Terence, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you.
You can be part of this conversation by sending your WhatsApp contributions to the numbers 0717 777 777. You can also call into the studio on the numbers 0772 269 229 or 498 112. Terence, a more direct question, is politics eclipsing economic priorities in the country?
Yes, it's. I would concur with that that argument that politics is surely eclipsing the political narrative, the economic narrative in the country, because this country is politically it's ever divided. So rational decisions are not being made, which affect which is affecting the economic trajectory of the country. So definitely politics is eclipsing the economic trajectory of the country.
But how does that come about when you have a ruling party that has the majority of seats in Parliament? How and what is the impact of having an opposition that really does not agree with the ruling party?
The issue now is the governance systems now do not allow the right kind of economic situation to be present in our country, because the governance systems, if you see the division in terms of the election results and what's supposed to be the responsibilities of certain parties, especially in the urban centers where they control 80% of the seats, where delivery of basic commodities like water, sanitation is supposed to be delivered by the opposition, but they are not being allowed to express themselves in these areas. So where we see the ruling party being the majority, where it takes the majority, which is in the rural areas, there's a less of importance in terms of policy making which should be done in those areas, because it's really just general policy which must be done for those areas, rather than the urban areas where the sanitary needs of the nation must be catered for, and the day-to-day running of the vital issues of the nation must be present. So the opposition has a role to play, but it's not being officially recognized in these areas, and it's not being given chance to really show how it can really change the lives of ordinary citizens in the urban areas.
Is it a true assessment and notion that everything revolves around politics anywhere in the world?
Yes. It's really true. Everything revolves around politics, and especially in Zimbabwe, the politics in Zimbabwe contains a lack of respect, and this is the one which is causing this situation we have in the country, that where we lack respect, especially where the two opposing parties lack respect, nothing can really work in this country.
So can we say that as a people, as a country, then we have not gotten our politics right?
Yes, we have not gotten our politics right. It's an issue where it's really, we are just opposing people because we are in the opposition, but there are some things which we have to agree with.
What kind of things?
Especially right now, a currency is possible in Zimbabwe, but with the current politics, it cannot be stable enough. a currency. It cannot achieve the proper stability, because once there is a press statement by the official authorities in the country, there's also another press statement at Harvest House, which creates this issue of instability. So a currency cannot survive in such an environment. And even the opposition itself even allude to that situation. They even allude to the principle that a currency is possible 10 bit after the monetary announcement where we introduced the RTGS dollars. Even said that the currency is possible, but it needs political stability. So the moment we still solve the political situation in the country, that's when we can have success in this country. But as long as we are still having these two centers of power, which are very influential, because if you look at the election result itself, you can really see that it's 2 million this side. We can dispute 2 point what, but we are really divided as a country. But we cannot have this situation going on if we want our economy to be successful.
Terence, just educate us here. What color, what complexion does political stability take?
Where we agree to disagree. That's where we want. And we were once in this situation during the unity government periods, where we had a less of the divisive talk which was in the country, where we had the leaders. First of all, we can have a disagreement in the boardroom, but when we go to the nation, there are decision tools which are in place where we are making certain decisions. Once we agree, this is the policy we are going to adopt. Yes, when we are going to the people, we speak in one voice, but after rigorous discussions privately in the boardrooms, in the cabinet meetings, where there are proper decision rules which are there in those divisive areas. And this is the take which I want to really bring out into our politics right now, that we can agree to disagree, but there are decision rules and mechanism of making those disagreements and standing out to the public and giving the public one voice, one decision, which can be followed, where this country can be successful.
There has been talk, there have been other people who have alluded to the fact that until and unless maybe a transitional government or government of national unity is created, then really the fortunes of the country will never turn around. Do you subscribe to that school of thought?
At the moment, yes, I subscribe to that school of thought, because we are really in a situation where yes, the cabinet might have said yesterday and have brought up resolutions, but if we continue to have this situation where whatever they say is going to be opposed strongly by a strong camp, there is nothing which will take this country forward.
Do we have investors, Terence, who then, for example, even if the government is saying, or the ruling party in this regard is saying that Zimbabwe is open for business, as long as we have an opposition that seems not to have bought into that idea, do we have investors who then also listen to the voice of the opposition?
Yes, investors are currently there's a lack of investment which is coming from this country, because once the minister goes around, the minister of finance goes around the world giving another narrative. The same opposition also goes around, maybe SADC or something, giving another narrative. So obviously investors do really analyze all this situation, the political stability. They analyze all those things, and obviously investors will not take heed of those calls being made by the government. So we really need to first of all fix the politics. Then anything else which comes in, it's now complementing the politics, which is really the key priority right now, which we really need to focus on.
The program is Parliament. We take a short break and resume after this message.
Beware of criminals in unmarked vehicles who are reportedly targeting electronic gadgets such as cell phones, laptops, and other valuables. Moving around with or allowing people to notice that you possess large sums of money is strongly discouraged. A number of people have fallen victim to these ruthless criminals. Protect yourself and loved ones by being extra careful. If you suspect you are being followed followed, drive to your nearest police station. Trust your instincts and report or raise alarm should you feel uncomfortable with any person or vehicle you suspect may harm you. Any information leading to the arrest of these criminals will be greatly appreciated. Report at your local or any police station and stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Capital 100.4 FM Current Affairs Department in the interest of public safety.
Welcome back to the program Parliament, where we're looking at whether politics is eclipsing economic priorities in Zimbabwe. And with me is Mr. Terence SImbi. This is Capital 100.4 FM, leading the conversation. The time now 22 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Now, we were talking there earlier on, Terence, and contributions have already started coming through. The number is 0717 777. That's our WhatsApp number. You can call on 495 112 if you've got a contribution that you might want to put across. And this one coming from Dan in Waterfall says, "Hi Capitalk, why do we have a political system where the ruling party can govern the taxpayers and set policy when they are proud of winning the election via the rule of vote? It does not make sense. We are going nowhere." How do you respond to Dan's issues here?
Even the rural population does, to some extent, contribute to the economic trajectory of the country. For the fuel, the productive sectors, for they are the ones who are involved in producing the agricultural produce which we use as a country. So there is warranty to them also to also contribute. There is warranty for the government to really collect taxes from these areas. Some of the issues where the urban population, maybe you might really overrate it, the urban population, because most of the urban population does really contribute to the downfall of this nation by some of the luxury things which we do not produce as a nation ourselves. We really import them. So sometimes you might be against the rural population, but the rural population does contribute to some extent more than us, the urban population. So we really don't really have to see them as people who are harmful to this economy. They are really contributors to this economy. So we really need to take cognizance of the fact that the rural population has say in the tax collection system. For they do not really import things which we are used to in the population. We pay for DSTV. These are foreign products. We pay for many things here which are foreign. So we don't have to look at the rural population and cast it aside and say it does not contribute to economic activity.
The issue of political will, sincere political will for that matter, would you say it exists in terms of addressing socio-economic matters in the country? Since especially the coming in of the Second Republic?
Well, the political will was there to really implement changes, but you see the environment in which the Second Republic is operating is really a tough.
What kind of environment is the Second Republic operating in?
Just after attaining. Just after what happened in November 2017, they had an election which they had to contend with seven months from that, and the election opponents from there are yet to move on. So this is the environment which the Second Republic is operating in, and it really needs to start really mending some of the divisions which are in the country. For if they continue creating internal enemies, it will give also the chance for external enemies to really capitalize on the situation right now.
Would you say that so we have had diplomatic offensive economically and politically, where the president and even his emissaries have gone out to say that Zimbabwe is open for business? Do you get the sense that enough has already been done locally, internally, in terms of saying and putting out across the message that Zimbabwe is open for business?
Yes, advertising has happened, but now the internal environment, that's where all the issues are now. The internal environment are not conducive for anyone who is a proper investor to really come in and invest in this country. The internal environment is really divisive, and that's where the priority is supposed to be right now. There are many issues which are supposed to be solved internally, where they have to dialogue, and it's a priority right now. Nothing else can solve. They can go for cabinet meetings and pronounce this, but unless they solve the internal politics, the internal pressures which are in the country, there's nothing else which can be helpful right now.
A contribution from Sekuru Babafei says that point of correction here. I think it's politicians eclipsing the economy and not politics eclipsing the economy. And economy and politics are completely two different things. The economy needs proper management, not kukia-kia, whereas politics is a game of the cleverest and fools at some time. Politicians, if by any chance happen to manage the economy, it's failure after failure with disasters as the end result. Above all, a badly managed economy will always have a ripple effect, which can be easily felt by even unborn babies still in their mother's wombs. This is Seguru Babafei. Your reaction to that?
Well, politicians are you're saying politicians are the ones who are at fault in this situation. Yes, to some extent, that can be correct. Politicians, many of them, I'll be attacking a profession, so they are very defensive, and they are very attack oriented, and many of them at the top, at the homes are mainly lawyers. They are very defensive in their arguments, and sometimes law professions,
All right, Terence, let's quickly get a call. We've got a call online. Good evening, you're through to Capital. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good evening, you're through.
Yeah, ndoshandisika kachitima luxury wana DSTV kuti kachiona ma DSTV tofana kuona ZBC ichocho. Since independence up to now tingoona one channel. Nika muno mkonzi kawana kaona maui ma even people akaona mazinzaro sana